Hey everyone, welcome to week 3 of fantasy football. Let's get right into the studs and duds from last week. I have stud being Ben Black. This is why. You didn't have the greatest week, but this is what you did 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. You played just good enough to beat your brother, and then just good enough to beat your dad. Good job. That means you own the family. You get to make fun of them. So, I guess I always did think you were the greatest of all blacks. So, good job. The dud is me. It's like that segment on NFL when they say, "Come on, man." You could literally pick anyone on my team and say that too because they all suck. Let's get to the games of the week. We have the Battle of the Bens, meaning Black versus Baker. Ben Black, I like Derek Carr this week, and I like that you're playing Carson. I think he's going to be the #1 guy. He's going to play well. Baker, you got Trevor Siemian going on. Who the heck is he? He's like John Elway meets Peyton Manning. And there's a lot of hype for A.J. Green this week. Like, the Bengals are all of a sudden going to be better because they have a new coordinator. And honestly, that kind of makes me nervous. Both of those guys I mentioned. So I'm going with Ben Black. You're the winner. We have John versus Jim. John, I really like Brady and Crabtree. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns last week. Just quick off the top of your head, name 5 #2 receivers better than him. Don't think you can do it. Jim, Cutler. He's starting for you. That was kind of a surprise. This is not good news for Baldwin, that you're not playing Russell Wilson, but you're still playing him. But my 2 favorite players I like for you are Allen and Hill. They're just fun to watch. I didn't like watching them against the Browns, but they're fun to watch, and I think they'll play well for you kind of all over the place. But I'm going with John. John, you're going to win. Myself versus Andy. There's barely anything good about my team. I was a disappointment in drafting Johnson because he got hurt, and then later I followed it up with Crow and Pryor, and they both stink so far. So Andy, you're going to win, but here are the reasons why. I think Zeke plays better. I think Diggs and Winston, they should play well, but just all 3 of them kind of make me nervous right now. So I think you're going to low score it, but you only need to score like 60 points to beat me. So legitimately I think you win, but you don't hit 100. Nick versus Heiser. Nick, Hunt, Anderson, and now I think Henry. There's a chance Henry's going to grab a hold of DeMarco Murray's time and not give it back. So Nick, good job drafting running backs, and especially none of them are high-name running backs, and you're getting lots of points for them. Heiser, Bell's going to bounce back for you. I think McCaffrey, like right now he looks good in the field, but he doesn't look good on fantasy. But I think he might kind of bridge that gap this week and finally look good in fantasy too. But Nick, I think you're going to get to win. Drew versus Chris. Drew, Stafford looks really good, but the QBs thrown to your wideouts I don't think look very good right now, so that kind of should make you nervous. Chris, every player in your team averages about 15 points a game. I think that's going to happen again, and you're going to win. And then Aaron versus Tyler for our last one. Montgomery, he is like all over the place. I think you're going to get a lot of points from him, and I think Mike Evans literally could score a touchdown every week for Tampa Bay. Tyler, I like that Duke is going to be the #1 wide receiver in Indy. Like Corey Coleman's out. I think that's good for you. And White seemed to grab hold of that like 8 receptions a game kind of role again. So I think this could be a close one. And actually, ESPN has you both scoring 110.9 points. I think the winner's going to get 98 points, and I think it's going to be Aaron. Just funny things from last week then. Trump is taking on all professional sports. I find that super interesting that he's disinviting the Warriors because Seth Curry doesn't want to go, and he is yelling at football players who kneel down. Just interesting. Now they're starting to clap back at him a little bit, which I'm sure he won't take the bait, right, and say anything at all. I think I must be better at predictions and drafting players because I don't know if I've ever ended. I think like my overall record is a winning record in predictions, and I don't think that's probably true of my fantasy football team. So maybe I should stop drafting and just predict. I don't know. Also, last week I called that Ben was going to win his game by 5 points. He did not. That Ben was going to lose by 5 points. But he did not. He won, but I like that I called it being really close, and it was. Other comments, 30-year-old running backs are dead, as you hear, which is interesting. All of us are probably 30 or older now. I think all of us are 30 or older. Yep, I think so. Just interesting to be that age and have people tell you that you're dead, that you're no good anymore. And I think that's it. Those are my comments for this week. Get out there, watch football. I think this is the first London game experience this week, which will be embarrassing for the Jaguars because the Ravens' defense is super good right now. All right, get out there, watch some football, and I'll see you guys later.